J'ai le grand honneur de vous présenter notre ami depuis très longtemps, Robin Corbett, Lord Robin Corbett. Salam, Salam Ashraf, Salam Iran. I bring you greetings from my colleagues and myself down here on behalf of the majority of members of the British Parliament and around 200 members of the House of Lords, and declare our strong support for the people of Iran and their resistance movement, which is determined to win freedom and democracy. As we mourn those murdered this week by the mullah's thugs, we should also remember the 120,000 members of the resistance slaughtered since 1981, especially those 30,000 political prisoners killed in the single year of 1988, when Mousavi was the Prime Minister, by the way. I want you to listen. Please listen. If you listen, you will hear the demands of the people of Ashraf for freedom and democracy echo across the towns and cities of Iran. As they cry freedom, marching millions demand UN-supervised elections, an end to the mullah's dictatorship, and insisting upon the sovereignty of the people. And just as in Ashraf, men and women are equal, women have marched and shouted alongside their brothers, fathers and husbands on the streets of Tehran, Mashhad, Qom, Isfahan, Tabriz and dozens of other towns. We especially salute those brave women, despised as second-class citizens by the mullahs, now standing up for freedom. The United Kingdom, other European states and the United States wrongly believe there was a moderate reformer among the 4 approved candidates at last week's election. No such person would have been approved. The PMOI was placed on the European and US list of so-called terrorist organisations at the demand of the mullahs. That left them free to increase savage repression at home and export the terrorism it pays for, sponsors and arms around the region, and all the while defying the United Nations over the covert development of nuclear weapons. That injustice to the resistance was challenged by an all-party group of members of Parliament and the House of Lords, including our late and respected colleagues, the Lord Slynn, Lord Johnson and Lord Renton. We won. We won because we told the truth. Because the courts decided that the government was simply relying on allegations that were out of date and had no current relevance, or it was impossible to independently check their source and accuracy. I would like to hope that President Obama is watching this, because I can tell him and members of the Congress and Senate, the State Department has exactly the same evidence which did not convince our courts. There is nothing new, so get on and deprescribe the PMOI in the United States. My country weakened the ability of Iranians to work for a secular republic and an end to nuclear weapons development the resistance offers. The mullahs should now be told that the elections are so unsafe they should be rerun, this time under UN supervision. If they are so sure of the election results, what then do they have to fear? Run them again and show the world that you're right, but properly supervised this time. The claim that 20 million votes were counted by hand in 3 hours is impossible to believe. When I was a Member of Parliament, it took far more experienced counters that time or longer to get through 30,000 ballot papers, let alone 20 million. The way ahead for the people of Iran who cry freedom is neither appeasement nor military intervention. It is democracy, the very thing for which the mullahs this week have shown such brutal contempt. The so-called Supreme Leader yesterday described my country as evil. Those millions in my country who support those millions in Iran demanding freedom and democracy rather than theocracy resent and reject that label. It is an insult. The real evil is that the unelected head of an Islamic State should consider that is the right way to describe those of his fellow countrymen and others around the world demanding democracy. Where one man or woman is not free, we have a duty to stand alongside them while they achieve democracy. That's why we proudly stand alongside those brave people in Ashraf, resisting mullah-inspired attempts through the Iraqi government to ignore the protections to which they are entitled under international humanitarian law. We must send them a message. As you in Ashraf stand with those defying the mullahs in the streets of Iran, we stand by you. We are all citizens of Ashraf.